try to clone the repository from our private Git server, we can definitely do that. So for that, we are going to run this, and we're going to need our IP address, and then home git repos demo.git. Right? Now we're going to clone it into the folder demo. All right, the clone has been done, and now we can see the demo folder exists. Now we go inside the demo and run a listing command just to verify that everything is there. All right, as you can see, the test.txt file, which was added at the last as the second comment, that's already there. Now, if we run the command of git log, we can see we have our Git repository back on our local computer that we have pulled from our private Git server. Today, we're going to talk about version controlling of our codes. When we write codes for any project, in most cases these days, it has become very crucial to maintain some version controlling of your code base. And for that, we usually use Git, and with the services that are pretty popular and easily available like GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket. Those three are major Git services that we usually use to store our codes. So that's all well and good, but after all, these are third parties where you are pushing your codes. They are the companies who are keeping your codes with them, and you are pushing, you're pulling from them. So basically, the first thing that you're going to need to use any of these Git services is create an account with them. All right. So now I was wondering about a question like, what if I want to keep the version controlling of my code base, but at the same time, I don't want to rely on any third party services like GitHub, GitLab, or Bitbucket, or any other Git services out there. So I came across some interesting facts that there's some software, there's a tool, it's called Gitty. So that it actually allows you to host your Git server privately. Like it allows you to create your own Git server where you push and commit all your codes and you maintain the versioning of your code base. That's really something a way to keep your code base private, like, and not relying on any third party services. So what they provide here like Git Enterprise and Git Runner, all of the services. So I was looking at there, like what they say, welcome, where we're committed to delivering cutting edge solution, blah, 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 whatever. So this is allowing you to download a package to install on your server. All right. And here we can see it's easy to install, cross platform, lightweight, open source. So it's all well and good, but we are not going to go for GT2. So what we are going to do instead is creating our own Git server on any of the server which you have you own, maybe an EC2 instance or any cloud instance or any server. So I have tried personally with any Linux distribution. This is very much possible. I'm not sure about Windows. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to set up a private Git server on my own EC2 instance. All right. It's going to be pretty quick and pretty simple steps just to follow. All right. Let's dig in. So the first thing that we need to make sure that we have an EC2 instance up and running. And you can check out my other episode about how to set up an EC2 instance and connecting to it using the private key that is provided by the AWS itself. So the same applies to other cloud platforms as well, like GCP or Azure. Anywhere, the procedure is going to be pretty much similar. All right. So once you have your instance up and running, and you can go with any of the ways like Ubuntu, CentOS, or any of the distributions of Linux. That's perfectly all right. And what we're going to do now, we're going to log into our server using a terminal. All right. So what I use here is I use the shortcut to connect to my instance. I have made another episode about making the script work. All right. So now I elevate my access to root. So we try to install Git core. and it's not going to install anything here because we already have Git installed on our instance. All right, so we move to our next part. So the next, let's add the user that's going to handle our Git operations. The username is going to be Git, and the home directory is going to be home and then Git, and the shell we're going to provide has been dash, the simple shell. All right, now if we collect Git from etc and password, then we can see that the user has been created, and the user has been assigned the home directory and also the shell. Now the next thing we have to check that whether the directory exists. All right, so we're going to check it here now. Yeah, well, home. No, we don't have it. We just have Ubuntu. Okay, so we are going to make a directory, home, and then Git, and also have to adjust the username, the owner and group of this directory. So the owner has to be Git, and um, group could be root2. That's all right. Home and Git. All right. Now we log in. Now we switch to this newly created user Git. And you might have noticed something that we haven't assigned any password to this user, just because we are not going to use any password. Instead, we are going to use our private key to authenticate to our server, our Git server. All right. So now we have logged in as Git, and we can see our directory. We are already moved to the home directory of the user Git. Now we are going to create a folder where all the repositories are going to be put. So make directory and repos. All right. And inside of that, actually, I have decided to use a folder, a directory that I already have with my development environment, and it's going to be uh, development and then demo. All right. So I'm going to show you what I have in this folder. It's just a Python file, index file, and that stuff. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is, all right, so we have created the directory where our repositories are going to be located, and inside of that we're going to create the Git for our this local project of demo. All right, so what we do next is make directory repos demo.git. All right, and then we move to repos and demo.git. And guys, please be mindful of the user and the ownership that I'm considering here. As you can see, I'm running all these operations using the newly created Git user only. All right. So now instead of that, what we're going to do, we're going to set it up as a Git server, not a Git repository. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is Git init, and it comes with a parameter that's called bear. So that means this is the key factor right here. When we go with the bear, so that means there's no working directory, no index.html, nothing. It's not going to be a directory from where you can access the files directly. You can edit a file directly, what you can do with your local Git environment, right? So this is just going to be the storage for your code base and managing the version controlling of your code base that you're going to manage from your local coding environment. All right, so we go with git init bear, and it's going to give you some hint and stuff like the main branch is going to be master and all. Now we are going to see the file that has been created inside of this. So you can see all these files. And now the next thing we have to do is we go back to our local environment inside the demo folder, and the thing that we are going to connect to our private Git server. So for that, we have to make sure that we have the private key, which there are a number of default private keys which are checked and used when you are trying to connect to a server. Right, so those, the one that we're going to use is IDRSA. IDRSA is the key file, and we're going to take the public key, which should be added to the environment of our Git server. So for that, we go back to our Git server and we create a directory at the root level. It's called SSH, and we also create file inside of the directory authorized keys. All right. And now be mindful of changing the permission and of these directories, right? So we're going to check it anyway. Uh, all right, so we have SSH with the usual gate, but the permission is too open. So we come back to our local environment, and from there we're going to look for whether we have IDRSA private key already in our system. So I'm going to run a listing command with an SSH, and I'm going to create with IDRSA. There's no ID to do. We're going to create that. So for that, the command is going to be SSH keygen, and T is RSA. The type is going to be RSA, and the byte is going to be 4096. And the comment, we're going to put our email address. That's it. Generating the public private key pair, and the name is going to be IDRSA. Just hitting enter. Already exists. Overwrite. Yes. No passphrase. Yeah. So all right, now what we're going to do is we're going to get init in our demo repository. And all right, now we can see that we have the .git folder inside of it. And the difference you can notice here, within the demo.git folder, we don't have any .git folder, right? So there's no handling of working directories. All right. So now what we're going to do is git remote add origin git add the IP address and the path of our git folder demo.git. That's what we have just created, right? Yeah, home git repos git. All right, so it has been created. Now we're going to make run a command git log. It doesn't have anything yet, so we're going to initial commit git add star, and the commit has been done, and then we are going to push it to origin and master. As you can see, the new branch has been created. Then if we run git log, you can see the commit that we have pushed to our server. Now, instead of it, if we run that listing command once again, you can see the same files again. All right. There's no changes that you can notice right here, other than just the size of the objects and things with these files only going to be changed. And another thing that we'll have to do is we go back to our root, and we got to adjust the permission of our SSH folder and the authorized key file. So we're going to make sure that it's readable only by the user, not group, not public. All right. So home, then SSH. Sorry, git dot SSH, and the file inside of it should have only read permission, SSH, authorized keys. All right, now we switch back to our usual git. And now if we run the listing command, as you can see that the SSH folder, it has just 0700 this permission. All right. Now, this is basically our private git server has been created and set up. And you can see if we add another file to it, and let's test.txt. This is test.txt file to be added to our private git server set up on EC2 instance. All right, there we go. We add the file, and now we git add star and git commit added a new txt file. All right, now we go for git push origin master. All right, that's it. Now, if we go for git log, okay, you see the head is there, added a new file. And now I'm going to show you that the server is all actually working or not. And there we go inside our sorry repos folder, and then demos git folder, and going to list it. Okay, so all the files are there. Now we're going to check whether those are actually stored on our server, whether we can make a pull request from it or not. Okay, so we're going to check that our private Git server is ready and working. So for that, we are going to remove this demo directory. And then if we can try to list it and grep development and then grep by demo, as you can see, there's no folder inside the development folder. But if we go back to development one step up, and we try to clone the repository from our private Git server, we can definitely do that. So for that, we are going to run this, and we're going to need our IP address, and then home git repos demo.git. Right? Now we're going to clone it into the folder demo. All right, the clone has been done, and now we can see the demo folder exists. Now we go inside the demo and run our listing command just to verify that everything is there. All right, as you can see, the test.txt file, which was added at the last as the second comment, that's already there. Now, if we run the command of git log, we can see we have our Git repository back on our local computer that we have pulled from our private Git server. So that's it, guys. That's how you set up your very own self-hosted Git server without relying on any of the Git services out there. Thank you.